Hey there friends, my name is Sarah Joy and I want to say welcome to my channel. If you're brand new here, I vlog every single Tuesday and I give you lots of tips for home decor, and I also take you behind the scenes on projects that I'm doing around our house or maybe even at a friend's house. But there's always a lot of good inspiration, so if that sounds good to you, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and stay around so that you don't miss a video every time they come out. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 different ways to brighten up your home. So let's get into it. All right, so the very first tip, you probably can guess it. It's do some painting. Painting your walls is a very easy way to brighten up a space. Maybe you have a really outdated color, or maybe you were just going for a really loud color before, but you want to kind of clean things up, make the room look fresh, maybe make the ceilings look a little bit bigger. Painting a lighter or a crisp white color can really go a long way. And it doesn't have to be like a stark, sterile white. There are a lot of beautiful warm whites out there, aesthetic whites that can really just soften the space and really make your place look really classy. So painting your walls, they don't have to be white, but if you paint them white, it can really brighten up, liven up a space. I know we're not going for that overly saturated, everything all white, but it is a nice look to have some nice, clean white walls in your home. My second tip is to frame up your window correctly. So the very first thing is looking at the kind of curtains that you're using. Maybe your curtains right now just swallow up all of the natural light that's coming in the room. Maybe you have some Roman shades on your windows, or maybe you have just like a really thick shutter situation that is shutting all the lights out. I'm not saying get rid of it, but if there's something different that you can do with it, if you're trying to let a lot of that natural light in, let's address the window situation first. A lot of those different things, especially the shutters, especially thick, heavy curtains, they can just shut all the light out. And so if you're trying to get a lot in, we just need to rethink that situation. So some different things that you can do. One, you might be able to just use the existing curtains, but just hang them differently. Maybe they're hung in a way where they don't have a lot of space to like even out and kind of have some like kind of drawn to the side. So maybe just adjusting where the bar is hung, how they're placed, and just opening up a little bit more space on that window. That might be something that you can do, or just looking into a different type of curtain or a different type of window treatment where it's letting a lot more light in. One idea is to do kind of a Roman curtain, so you can have the shades like most of the way up, but they're still able to pull down easily, but you can have them up, and when they're up, they're still just showing like a little bit, you know, on the windows, so you can have a little bit of a nice look and kind of have, you know, something nice to look at, but they're not covering the whole window and like hanging down, making a big statement. Another thing that you can do is just opt for a more sheer curtain. So whether that is a linen or if that is not a tulle fabric, but just something a lot more see-through and translucent, just to be a light and airy look. You can even get long curtains that kind of have that look to it. So that might be an option for you as well, to just frame up your windows in a way, frame up your windows and your window treatments in a way that allows the most light possible to filter through. My next tip is to just think about the wall in your room that has the windows. Now, if you don't have any windows in your room and you're trying to lighten it up, we'll have to go a different route. But if you have at least one window in your room, here's my advice for you. If you have an accent wall, again, I'm not saying you need to paint all of your walls white. If you do have an accent wall, I'm all for accent walls. I love them. I think they can make a good statement. They don't always have to close and box in your room. They can actually give it a lot of depth and dimension and give you something to look at. But my advice is to make your accent wall or anything darker that you have going on opposite the window. So if your window is on this side of the room, then this side of the room needs to be the accent wall that has the darker stuff going on, so that when the natural light filters in, it hits it and you see the really true tones of what you painted or the artwork that you have on the wall. So I would do it opposite the window or adjacent to the window, but not the dark stuff on the window side, if that makes sense. So if you have super dark curtains, or if you have a dark colored accent wall, or maybe some just really heavy artwork pieces, then I would have them face against the wall so that you get the light on them and it actually looks amazing and bright and rich, and you can really enjoy all of those colors, if that makes sense. Tip number 4 is the temperature of your lighting. Some people, I think, go overboard with this, because I know there was a phase where, you know, all of the old light bulbs were like very yellow, and then they came out with these daytime light bulbs, and then some people just went like total opposite, and they're like, I want daytime, daylight light bulbs all throughout my house, which is actually a very cold and stark lighting. It's not really flattering to your skin. You might get into a little bit of self-loathing if you have them all around and you have some mirrors and you're catching yourself and you're like, wow, that is a lot of light and I see every imperfection. So it can kind of just give your home just a really cold, stark, sterile workspace kind of sense. Those daytime bright lights have a blue hue to them, so they're actually making things just seem like really cold. So it's good for like a garage or a workspace, or maybe like an industrial kitchen. But if it's for your home, I would not suggest that to brighten up the space. Although, you know, daytime white, crisp light might sound like the thing that you need to do. I think a lot of times it's not going to be very flattering to your decor. So I would suggest a soft white bulb. The brand that you'll see oftentimes is going to be the Reveal bulb. I think they have three different bulbs that you can choose from, but the Reveal one is that soft white that looks really flattering. It's still brightening up the room. It's still making it look like clean, crisp, and light, but it's also got a little bit of a warmer hue to it. So it's not yellow. It's actually got more of like a pink undertone to it, I think. But it's more flattering to you and to your decor, and just kind of makes it flow a little bit better. Still makes it seem homey while being bright. So that is the next thing that I would suggest to you. You might look at your light fixtures in the bathrooms. You might look at the light bulbs that are in your fans. You might look at the ceiling, you know, the recessed lighting that's in your ceiling. All of those might need to get tweaked a little bit in order to make the space really shine. Tip number 5 is to consider adding some lighting. And there's 2 different ways that you can do it, obviously. One is with a lamp, and that's the easier way to do it, is just to add in some lamps here and there and give it a nice like touch of light, a pop of light. And the little more complicated way to do it is to get them hardwired. You might need to add a light fixture into your house if you've got like a really dark pocket. I know there are a couple places where I'm just dreaming about maybe dropping in a little spotlight or another hanging light fixture, but there are places where you can add in a little bit more light if you get them hardwired. If you're dealing with a really dark space and the other things aren't helping with that, then look into getting maybe another lamp or a hardwired light fixture added in, and that can really, really go a long way. Number 6, one of my favorites, I've made a video about it recently, maybe in my kitchen update video I talked about it, but that is under cabinet or under counter lighting, and this is a really easy DIY. Again, a lot of people do get them hardwired, but you don't have to do that. If there's an inconspicuous place that you can plug these in, you can actually just get these LED strips of light off of Amazon or someplace like that, and you can actually cut them to size. So it's like a flexible piece of tape, and you just stick it on with this double-sided mounting tape underneath your cabinet. You can adjust it with a remote of the brightness that you want it to be. Depending on the one you get, I think you can even adjust the color. You know, you could do a different color if you wanted to. I stick with just soft white light, but it's really whatever you want. You can really express yourself with these, but that is a great way to add light into different spaces, especially maybe your kitchen doesn't get the best light. I am very particular when it comes to lighting when I'm trying to clean something. And for me, I like the kitchen to be a very clean space. I want to, you know, thoroughly clean the countertops when I'm done with them, and I want to really see what I'm cooking. I don't want to make, you know, mistakes and have like this dark area to work with. I always have to have like all the lights on whenever I'm cooking. I don't know if you're like that. Maybe that's just me. I worked in a restaurant a lot, but having all the lights in the kitchen is just very important to me. So I really enjoy having extra lighting underneath the counters. I can really feel like I'm doing a great job whenever I'm cleaning, and it's just really nice to look at. I feel like it gives that extra pizzazz to the space. So those are definitely highly recommended on my list, and they're only about 15 bucks, so it's a great investment. And the last one, number 7, this is probably the most complicated on my list, but if you are really dealing with a dark space, it might be your countertops and your cabinets. And that might be, you know, a signal to you that it's time to do an update on them, or maybe replace them or paint them, you know, whatever you can do. I'm not huge on painting countertops, but there are some other things that you can do to kind of liven up the space. And sometimes just the cabinets, you know, if you have dark cabinets and dark countertops, then if you paint the cabinets and lighten them up a little bit, it might take care of the countertops for you. So just thinking about if that's a project that you can take on, it can definitely liven up the space a ton by taking care of those 2 different things. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope this helps you when you're thinking about your home and how to just lighten it up or brighten up the mood inside of your house. I hope these things help, and if you try one of them, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And again, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss a video. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, or a comment, and I will see you next Tuesday with a brand new video. See you later, guys.
What a wonderful